Love to laugh? Well, you're in luck because some of the greatest comedies of all time are getting sequels, and they're coming sooner than you might think. Director Rob Reiner made some fantastic films in the 1980s, including 1984's This Is Spinal Tap. The iconic mockumentary features Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, and Christopher Guest as members of the fictional band Spinal Tap, who are followed by a documentary crew while they embark on an American tour.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11.
Despite being a cult classic, few imagined the movie would ever get a follow-up. And yet, in 2022, news of a sequel broke. The stars are all back, as is Reiner as director. Not only will the entire band return for the new film a whopping 40 years after the original's release, but it will feature a number of musicians in cameo roles, including Paul McCartney, Questlove, Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, Lars Ulrich, Elton John, and many, many more. Spinal Tap II began filming in early 2024. The movie was originally set to hit theaters in March, though delays related to the Hollywood strikes placed that date out of reach. According to Reiner, the goal is now a 2025 release. Hollywood has produced several Freaky Friday remakes since the first movie's release in 1976. The most popular of these was released in 2003, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan as a mother and daughter who switch bodies via a magical fortune cookie. A sequel to this hugely successful remake was always possible, but Lindsay Lohan's legal troubles likely prevented it from happening at the time. Thankfully, Lohan overcame her problematic period and returned to acting as an adult. Fans of the original Freaky Friday received some welcome news in May 2023 when Disney confirmed that a sequel was in the works. Girls and Brooklyn Nine-Nine director Nisha Ganatra is set to helm the movie, with Lohan and Curtis reprising their roles. According to Curtis, the shoot was both fun and emotional.
We came together for 42 days and just laughed a lot, cried a lot.
Titled Freakier Friday, the highly anticipated sequel is set for a 2025 release. Watching 1993's Hocus Pocus has become a Halloween tradition for many. Disney capitalized on the film's cult status by releasing Hocus Pocus 2 in 2022, which broke debut weekend streaming records with 2.7 billion minutes of views. The Sanderson sisters all came back for the second movie, and it seems they're set to return for a third outing too. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, screenwriter Jen D'Angelo said that while everyone was charmed by the younger iterations of the Sanderson sisters in the second film, the third would focus firmly on the adult versions of the characters. D'Angelo also said that the project was still in the story phase, though it seems like one of the characters introduced in the second film will feature more prominently in the upcoming sequel. D'Angelo teased, "We've only scratched the surface of Hannah Waddingham's Mother Witch." Hocus Pocus 3 is in full development at Disney with an estimated $100 million budget, so the studio is clearly committed to the franchise. Unfortunately, a release date hasn't yet been confirmed, but it stands to reason that the movie will release in October 2025 to coincide with the Halloween season. There have been two films in the Sister Act franchise to date. The original was released in 1992, and a follow-up hit theaters the following year. And although it's been a while since Whoopi Goldberg put on The Habit, a third film is most definitely on the way. In fact, it's been in the pipeline for quite some time now. Disney began development of Sister Act 3 back in 2018. Little information has trickled out since then, however, with nothing concrete on the plot or the release date yet. Here's what we do know about Sister Act 3, though. High School Musical, the series creator Tim Federle will helm the film, with a script written by three-body problem screenwriter Madhuri Shikar. It took a long time to finalize a story that everyone was happy with, but according to Sister Act 2 star Tanya Trotter, the script is now complete. The House of Mouse has also confirmed that the third Sister Act film will debut on Disney Plus rather than getting a theatrical release. 1996's Happy Gilmore was an early success for Adam Sandler, one that helped him cement his place as a Hollywood star after breaking through on Saturday Night Live. Now, as Sandler's movies continue to dominate Netflix, it's no surprise that the streamer has decided to capitalize on one of his most famous characters. The script for the sequel was written by Sandler and his former college roommate, Tim Herlihy. The former told The Hollywood Reporter, Sandler explained, "We're happy where it's at, and this is an exciting time for us. I don't know how all of a sudden our brain said, let's do that. It just kind of happened." While Carl Weathers has sadly passed away since the first film's release, Christopher McDonald is set to return as Happy's uptight rival Shooter McGavin. Benny Safdie will also appear, and Sandler has also confirmed a cameo by NFL star Travis Kelce. The film went into production in September 2024. The official Netflix X account marked the occasion by sharing an image of the classic Boston Bruins jersey that Sandler wore in the original film. Dodgeball, a true underdog story, was a huge success in 2004, making $168 million at the global box office against a $20 million budget.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
What?
But it wasn't until 2023 that news of a sequel broke, with Vince Vaughn returning to play gym owner Pete LaFleur. Jordan Van Dyne is writing the script based on a premise proposed by Vaughn, though it's unclear if the original film's writer and director Ross and Marshall Thurber will be involved. The rest of the cast of Dodgeball may well return, but nothing has been confirmed yet. Fans would no doubt love to see the major players reprise their roles, however. Justin Long has said that he would love to do it, but he's also revealed that Ben Stiller has trepidations about the project. He told comicbook.com, "It's very risky. You don't want to on the original. You want something just as good. So I think he's a little wary of that, of trying to recreate something that was very specific to that time, but I hope he comes around on it." For now, there's been no concrete information in terms of plot, though Long also revealed in his comicbook.com interview that Vince has a great idea for it, and it's just a matter of getting Ben on board. Since it's in development at 20th Century Studios, Dodgeball 2 will likely stream on Hulu or Disney+, but there's still no telling when this one might come out. The Shrek franchise exploded after the release of the first film in 2001, and that movie has since been followed up by sequels, stage musicals, video games, comics, and more. While viewers got the chance to return to the world inhabited by the not-so-jolly green ogre with the 2022 spin-off Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the last proper Shrek movie was released back in 2010. That said, a fifth entry in the main franchise was announced in 2016, and while much has happened in Hollywood since then, Shrek 5 is still in the works. Illumination Entertainment CEO Chris Meledandri, whose studio is working with DreamWorks on Shrek 5, spoke to Variety in 2023 about the film. He said, "You look at what the core elements are that audiences have loved, and you do your very best to honor those core elements. And then you're hard at work to build story elements and new characters that take you to brand new places. The original cast is a huge part of that." Thankfully, Meledandri got his wish. In July 2024, the official DreamWorks Animation X account dropped a brief animation along with an exciting announcement. Shrek 5 is coming to theaters on July 1st, 2026, and Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz will all reprise their iconic roles. Shrek 5 isn't the only movie in the Shrek universe that's currently in the pipeline. According to Eddie Murphy, DreamWorks is also working on a spin-off about Shrek's mouthy sidekick, Donkey.
"I will always be here to make sure nobody bothers you."
Donkey,
Yes, Rumi?
you're bothering me.
When Murphy sat down for an interview with Collider's Steve Weintraub to promote Beverly Hills Cop Axel F in June 2024, he revealed that he had already started working on the fifth Shrek film. He added, "I did this. I recorded the first act, and we'll be doing it this year. We'll finish it up. Shrek's coming out, and Donkey's gonna have his own movie. We're gonna do Donkey as well. So we're gonna do a Shrek, and we're doing a Donkey." When Weintraub asked if the two films were being made back-to-back, Murphy said, "No, not at the same time. I started recording Shrek. I think it's coming out in 2025, and we're doing a Donkey one next." The fact that the Donkey spin-off is being made separately from Shrek 5 means it probably won't hit theaters for several years, but the fact that it's actually happening will be enough to get fans of the franchise excited. In fact, many are of the opinion that Donkey should have had his own movie before Puss in Boots. As one Redditor observed, "It's astounding that it took this long to greenlight a Donkey spin-off." Kingpin was a box office bomb that quickly became a cult classic. News of a second Kingpin film broke in 2021 with director duo Peter and Bobby Farrelly set to return. Peter Farrelly told Slash Film in 2024 that they were still working on the script, however. He said, "We're not quite there yet. Writing is hard. I want to get it right, so we're still bouncing around ideas. We're not sure, but we are developing it, yes." Like most movies in the early stages of development, there's not much known regarding Kingpin 2's potential release date, plot, or stars. The first movie boasted a large cast of talented actors, and fans will no doubt be hoping that, at the very least, Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray will return as Roy Munson and Big Earn McCracken, respectively. It's anyone's guess when Kingpin 2 will arrive, but odds are it won't be until 2026 at the earliest. 2020 saw the release of a surprisingly clever sequel in Bill and Ted Face the Music, which reunited Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves as Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Logan 29 years after the previous film in the franchise. It appears that the journey of the Wild Stallions may not be finished either. During an appearance on The Sarah O'Connell Show, Winter revealed that a fourth film was in the early stages of development.
We're tinkering with a fourth movie idea that all of us like, and the guys are gonna write.
Winter made it clear that things are very much up in the air right now, but the fact that a script is even in the works will be music to the ears of Bill and Ted fans.
Excellent!
Intriguingly, Winter also revealed that the premise for the fourth film was obvious, but it's anyone's guess where the franchise will take Bill and Ted next. Many people have been asking if there will be a sequel to 2021's Free Guy, and the answer is maybe. Seeing as the ending of the first film left things pretty open, a sequel certainly would make sense. The original also did well upon release, despite the problems posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And in 2022, director Sean Levy told Collider that Free Guy 2 is very much happening. He said, "It's still in development. It's something that Disney and Fox want badly." One thing Levy was keen to stress in his interview is that he wants to take it slow with the sequel, preferring to make sure they can produce a great movie before anything gets going. Levy shared another update on the film in July 2024 while promoting Deadpool and Wolverine, and it wasn't what fans of the original wanted to hear. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, the filmmaker revealed that nothing has stuck yet in terms of a story and that, if they couldn't find a good angle, they may just walk away from the the proposed sequel altogether. He said, "We've worked for 2 years on ideas and scripts. I'm less certain now because we're really proud of the movie and we don't need to make sequels. If we don't crack a story that feels very worth making, we'd rather just make a different movie." You may be surprised to learn that the Kevin Smith cult hit Mallrats has a sequel on the way. Smith dropped the bomb that he was creating a follow-up titled Twilight of the Mallrats in 2020. While the first movie is far from Smith's most acclaimed project, it has a loyal fan base, and news of a sequel seems to have gotten people excited. At one stage, Smith attempted to create a Mallrats TV series about Brody and his daughter, so there's a good chance he'll return to that concept for Twilight of the Mallrats. Shannon Doherty, who sadly died from breast cancer in July 2024, even got a chance to read the script before her passing.
It's sweet.
Fun, celebration.
And nostalgic.
Yes.
It's nostalgic, but like in a really, really, really good way.
Speaking to People magazine, Smith revealed that Doherty really wanted to do the sequel and that her death has made him more determined than ever to get it off the ground. The filmmaker revealed that Doherty's role in the original film gave it a big boost. He said, "It was weird when it came out. It didn't do well. But when we first came to the Comic-Con 29 years ago, man, we were embraced, and we were largely embraced because of her, because she had the credibility in the crowd." The Jumanji franchise was given a shot of adrenaline with the release of 2017's Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. That film spawned a sequel, 2019's Jumanji: The Next Level, which hinted at yet another movie with a mid-credits scene. Soon afterward, Dwayne Johnson revealed that another sequel was indeed in the works. Johnson has even spilled some potential plot details, revealing that the villain from The Next Level was actually an avatar, and that the upcoming sequel will explore who was playing him. COVID-19 mucked up development plans for the next Jumanji film, but director Jake Kasdan is still moving forward with the film. Kasdan indicated he'd bring the entire cast back, so expect to see Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan reprising their roles. He told NME, "The whole thing, to me, is built on the foundation of those people. The game cast are these brilliant movie stars, these iconic people. There's no news on when we can expect to see the next entry in the franchise." However, speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, Gillan said, "I haven't heard anything about it other than the fact that we will be doing it at some point. So we're also enthusiastic about it. We all love working on those films, and it's just a matter of when." The 2005 Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson comedy Wedding Crashers is one of those ridiculous movies that almost everyone loved, and it made a ton of cash at the box office. Unfortunately, a planned follow-up appears to be stuck in development hell. News of a sequel first arose in 2014 from director David Dobkin. He outlined the plot of a potential Wedding Crashers 2, which would have seen Daniel Craig introduced as the king of all wedding crashers. That project never came to light, but 2 years later, Isla Fisher said during an appearance on Today that Vince Vaughn had indicated that a sequel was still in development. Vaughn later told Cinema Blend that Dobkin has a really good idea for the story. Unfortunately, due to scheduling issues, plans to make the sequel were put on hold in 2021. The project wasn't scrapped entirely, however, so there's still a chance Wedding Crashers 2 will eventually see the light of day. 1987 Spaceballs follows 4 heroes fighting the good fight against the title villains in a spoof of the Star Wars trilogy and several other sci-fi classics.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it?
One of the movie's greatest jokes was the meta-commentary about merchandising, and in one scene, the character Yogurt teases Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. It's a throwaway joke that didn't mean much at the time, as there wasn't really any chance that the film would see a sequel. Still, fans have been demanding The Search for More Money for decades, and in 2024, news dropped that they were finally getting their wish. While it probably won't use the title teased in the first film, a sequel is coming from Brooks and co-writer Josh Gad, who will also star. Sadly, several notable Spaceballs actors have died since the first film's release. It's unknown how the sequel will handle the passing of John Candy and Joan Rivers, among others. Whatever Brooks and Gad come up with, fans of the original will no doubt flock to see it. The sequel is being made by Amazon, who declined to comment on plot details or a potential release date when approached by Variety. For his part, Gad remained tight-lipped when he was asked about the project during an appearance at Toronto's Fan Expo Canada in 2024. But he did reveal how Brooks reacted when he first shared his idea for the sequel. According to Gad, Brooks said, "Josh, you've got your finger on the pulse." That's high praise from a comedy legend, and this update will no doubt have fans of the original excited about what's to come.